I'm Daniel Parson. I'm the Oxford College farm manager and educator, and we're here at the Oxford College Farm to talk about how to plant cover crops. There are a couple of reasons to grow cover crops on a farm such as this. They're grown in the time when cash crops are not grown to support the growth of those cash crops. One reason is fertility. Legumes bring nitrogen out of the air and make it useful for the next generation of plants. Of course, organic matter is grown with the cover crops, and also to attract beneficial insects. Anytime you have bare ground is a good time to plant a cover crop. It will hold the soil, keep rain from washing it away. But really, I decide when to plant cover crops according to my crop rotation. So in the spring, when the spring crops are getting finished, I plant long-term summer cover crops. Throughout the summer, I'll plant buckwheat. It's a really quick crop. And then in the fall, I make sure I get the fields covered before the winter rains come in. In terms of wintertime legumes, there are a couple of choices that I use a lot. Crimson clover, Austrian winter pea, hairy vetch, all three I use quite a bit. With the clover, if I can get it in early, it's good, and it also comes out early in the spring. If I have plenty of time, the hairy vetch is a great crop. It needs to be planted fairly early and goes late. And the Austrian winter peas can be planted really all winter. They come up in very cool soil. So when I miss my window and get crops in late, the Austrian winter pea and the winter rye are the go-to crops. One way that I like to plant cover crops in the fall is interplanting. So I'll have a fall crop in the ground like these carrots, and I will broadcast the cover crop seed over the field and come in and do my last cultivation, my last weeding, and that little bit of action will help bury the cover crop seed. It'll come up. When the crop comes out, then the cover crop thrives and grows all the way till the spring. Well, a disc harrow is great to incorporate organic matter into your soil. It can roll over a standing cover crop if it's not too tall or too thick, and it doesn't invert the soil and beat it up like a rototiller does. So it's also great for planting cover crops because you don't want to destroy the soil right before you plant the cover crops. And the way it works is got these two discs, and the first set of discs throw the soil out a little bit, and then the second set actually bring the soil back in a little bit, and that's what harrows the ground. You get a little strip in the middle on this one, but on the second pass I will offset my tractor path and take care of that little bit in the middle. So today I'm planting Austrian winter pea and winter rye. So I'll be broadcasting the seed followed by another pass with the harrow to cover it. It's not perfect, but it does get the seed covered to some depth and will really help it germinate properly. For broadcasting, I just use a standard Earthway even spread seeder. It works fine on my quarter-acre blocks. It's all I really need. It's actually got a chart on the bottom to tell you what aperture to open the gate there, and a little spring-loaded catch that you can set at whatever setting you need for the seed that you're putting out. When you spin the handle, the seed spreads out. Get one more just to be sure. All right. My first pass is with the Austrian winter pea. You want a good stand of a cover crop, or else it won't do the job smothering the weeds. You've really got to get a good stand, and planting time is when you can do that. All right, so we've gone from the winter pea to the rye. I reset my seeder at the right aperture for the rye, and if you get that tape just right, it'll open up right up. And this is definitely grain rye. This is not a grass rye. It's larger seeds, and that's what you want to plant. You don't want to plant the perennial rye or the grass rye. It becomes a weed in your fields. The grain rye, grains, peas, things like that will reach maturity, and they're easy to kill. So the first season I farmed, Andrew came out in the fall with a big bag of seed, and I said, what are we doing today? He said, we're planting cover crops. And I didn't know all the good things that we were doing by planting that cover crop, like attracting beneficial insects, feeding the soil with nitrogen with legumes, or adding organic matter to the soil and what that meant. But we did it, and all those great effects were realized on that farm. And over the years, I've learned all those things, and now I know that I couldn't farm without cover crops. And furthermore, you can see how easy it is to plant them, especially in the fall, but really any time of year.